Sephora created this program, and the program is called My Sephora Storefront. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's this affiliate program. And if you're not familiar with what affiliate links are very special because they allow influencers the opportunity to recommend products that they actually care about. What's interesting is when affiliate links first came out, everybody was like, ugh, yuck. Like, I don't want to help you out, right? Like, you're an influencer. Like, why would I buy from you, right? That's kind of was the energy around it. Now, what's so funny as a creator, people are like, dude, give me the link. Like, why have you not given me the link yet? So things have changed. People are ready to get the thing that they saw, that they like, and they're like, why are you creating hurdles for me to find it? So affiliate links have grown in appreciation from both influencers and consumers, from community members. People just want to see what it is that you have. Hello, and if this is the first time you're listening to It Takes a Village, thank you and welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. If you are returning and you are coming back, thank you for also being here, rocking with me. And I have a couple of requests before we even start this episode. Number one, if you are listening to this episode and you love it, please share it with a friend. Organic reach is the best reach. And if you feel inclined, which I hope you do, please leave us a written review on Apple. And that helps boost the show organically. It's a great way for you to give back to the show that gives to you. And number three, the newsletter. We have a newsletter. Head over to ittakesavillagepod.com and scroll down to the bottom, fill out the information, and we will send you information. You can also check out more details and more show notes. Everything that you want to know and are interested in about the show is updated there. Okay, let's get into this episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to It Takes a Village. I'm your host, Delina Medhin, and I am so excited to welcome you to It Takes a Village. If this is your first time here, please subscribe, give us a like. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a comment. Let us know if you love the show. This is such an intentional work for me. I really love doing this, and I love connecting with you and understanding what you love and who you want to see, and let me know, right, in the comments below. Also, we have an incredible ebook that was just recently released. It is called Build Your Village. So if you've ever struggled with networking, finding the people that you need to help make you feel good, to help make you feel like you are moving forward. There's a very famous quote that was made popular by Issa Rae saying that we need to network across, and it was actually said by Amy Aniobi, which is an incredible producer that I had the opportunity to work with. If you're new here, I have been a makeup artist for a very long time, and before I became a podcaster, and I worked on a show called Two Dope Queens with Phoebe Robinson and Jessica Williams, and Amy Aniobi was the producer, director for the first season that they did on HBO. So I got a chance to meet her, but network across. Okay, let me go back to that. Network across instead of network up, right? And so the idea of that is that it is helpful to meet people to build with at your level, right? But at the same time, you need both. You need mentors. You need people who've been through it. You need people who you can ask advice for. And like, how do you find these people, right? Like, I feel like that's the funniest thing when people are like, wait, but how did you find that person? Like, how did you get connected to them? And there is an art to it. So if you've ever been like, wow, I really need to figure out how I'm going to change the game, and I know I need to change who I'm spending my time with, this is the book for you. It's called Build Your Village. I'm going to link it below so you know to check it out. If you love the show, leave us a review. It means the world to me. It makes such a big difference being able to find the show for other people, and also for people just to be like, oh, okay, that person thought it was good. Now I'll listen, right? So it helps me out a lot. It helps us out a lot here at It Takes a Village. And if you like me, if you like what I'm thinking about and what I'm doing, and you want to know more about kind of like what's going on in my own head, I have a newsletter called This Made Me Think of You. And it comes out every 2 weeks, so it's not too much in your inbox. And every few weeks, I give you somewhere between 3 to 5, sometimes it's 5, things that I've been thinking about. So if you love that, I would love for you to join my newsletter. Head over to delinamedhin.com, Delina Medhin, Medhin.com, and fill out the pop-up or fill out the bottom of the website. There is a place to enter in your information. Okay, with that being said, we are in an episode that I'm very excited about. I'm going to do a deep dive on Sephora. So this isn't a Sephora sponsored episode. If you're new here, I actually haven't done a deep dive episode like this before, but it's just been rolling around in my mind, in my head. Like, the way Sephora is doing business is very different than any other retailer. The way they're doing it is just so in my face. And I'm like, okay, how do I help bring light to what's going on? So the first moment that I was kind of alerted to this was Sephora created this program. And the program is called My Sephora Storefront. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's this affiliate program. And if you're not familiar with what affiliate links are very special because they allow influencers the opportunity to recommend products that they actually care about. What's interesting is when affiliate links first came out, everybody was like, ugh, yuck. Like, I don't want to help you out, right? Like, you're an influencer. Like, why would I buy from you, right? That's kind of was the energy around it. Now, what's so funny as a creator, people are like, dude, give me the link. Like, why have you not given me the link yet? So things have changed. People are ready to get the thing that they saw, that they like, and they're like, why are you creating hurdles for me to find it? So affiliate links have grown in appreciation from both influencers and consumers, from community members. People just want to see what it is that you have. And I believe that Sephora has been paying attention to this. So the top companies that I personally use, and you can go check out my shops, but are LTK, which is Like to Know It, right? And stands for Like to Know It. And then Shop My, right? Which is literally shop and then MY. Okay, so those two companies are companies that I have storefronts on. Shop My actually got involved with very early on. They started in 2019. My friend Katie Jane Hughes, who's also a makeup artist, hit me up and was like, hey, I don't know if you want to meet this company, but they're new. They can help set you up if you're interested in being a part of it. And I liked the platform and the format because it was very easy and very clean. To this day, I think Shop My has an advantage in that way because the way that they do have the links is you can literally just go in. You don't need to have an account. It's open source. And open source, if you're not familiar, the best way for me to describe it is YouTube versus Instagram. To view a YouTube video, you do not have to have a login versus if you go onto Instagram, in order to get into Instagram, maybe you can scroll around a little bit, but eventually it's going to ask you to log in. And so when something doesn't have to ask you to log into it, it is considered open source content online. And so Shop My is that, whereas LTK is immediately going to ask you to log in. This is a turnoff for a lot of people. A lot of people have literally been like, I'm not interested. I'm not logging in. Forget it. So people do say that there is a higher conversion rate for Shop My than there is for LTK. That being said, the LTK girls that get it. And that platform is very robust on its own. And what I mean by that is when you go into LTK, it is like its own app. It is like an Instagram. You can search what it is that you're looking for. So if you're looking for a gray cardigan, you'll just type in gray cardigan, and then anyone wearing a gray cardigan, you'll be able to see it, and then you can just shop from there. So you can follow shoppers, right? Which is very interesting because it's almost like it's created its own way for you to really be able to connect with people and to be able to see what's new, what's hottest, latest, greatest for them. Affiliate links are something that I personally use a lot, and they have become a lot more popular, especially in the past couple years where brand deals, people are trying to figure out where they want to spend their money. Companies are trying to figure out where they want to spend their money, and brand deals are becoming a lot more strategic, and affiliate links give you the ability to have the power to share whatever you want to share with your consumer base. You are free to say, I love this, I love this, I love this, and it doesn't have to be, right? When you create branded sponsored stuff, it's all the same product from the same place, from the same company. And people are like, I don't do a lip that's, the same brand lip liner, lipstick, lip gloss, right? Like you'll do one lip liner from one brand and you'll do a lipstick, and then maybe you'll do a gloss, but maybe you won't, right? Maybe you'll do a lip balm. It's all different. And so as the beauty industry has grown, our interests have grown. I'm starting with this because I think it's important to note that while I use Shop My and LTK, majority of the times the retailer, right? So those are affiliate link companies. The retailer is like a Sephora or an Ulta or a Credo or like that. Those are the places you can buy beauty products. Most of my product links are for Sephora. And by most, I mean like 80 to 90%, because I'm primarily recommending beauty products because that is my world. That is my realm of expertise, right? So I'm figuring out that Sephora peeped what was going on. And Sephora was like, wait a minute. If they're, all these beauty girls are saying, and even the fashion girls do beauty recommendations, right? Because in order for their look to have like a complete look, you have your hair done, you have your makeup done, you have a bag, you have clothes, it's a whole thing. They're all linking to Sephora. People buy from Sephora in the same way that they buy from Amazon. They don't hesitate as much. There's a lot less lag in their ability to be able to convert that to a sale. So I think Sephora's noticed that, but also I've noticed that, and that's why I linked to Sephora as well. So Sephora Storefront is a really interesting idea. And it's interesting because it kind of closes the loop on them creating their own ecosystem. And I'm going to bring this together, and this is why we're talking about Sephora today. So in addition to my Sephora Storefront, they also have something called Sephora Squad. So Sephora Squad, if you're not familiar, it started in 2019. And I remember when it launched because I was like, okay, that's interesting. Because when it launched, it was kind of shaky. Like I remember people being like, well, why does this exist? And the kinds of people who were getting involved were people who were just like, okay, I like beauty. Let's, and they were applying. It was like, okay, you remember the first season of Love is Blind? And when Love is Blind first started, everyone was like, oh my gosh, I love them. Like, you remember Cameron and Lauren and like the first couple ever to be on Love is Blind that we were just like in love with. And then the seasons after, you were like, okay, now people know what the show is, right? Now they know what it is. So people who come in, they have to come ready. You know what I mean? Like sometimes they already have an existing following. Like there is a whole different thing going on. They're like, well, I'll use Love is Blind as a platform to help me pop, right? Like you can think about like how Cardi B was like, okay, I'm going to go on to that show with Mona Scott. What is the name of that show? It's like a rapper show. Oh my gosh, what is the name of that show? Wow. Cardi B on Mona Scott show. Love and Hip Hop. Wow. Okay, Love and Hip Hop, right? Like Cardi didn't need Love and Hip Hop. Love and Hip Hop needed Cardi. You know what I'm saying? Like it changed up, whereas that wasn't the case in the very beginning of the show. Okay, so I digress, right? So they created this thing called Sephora Squad. And Sephora Squad was interesting. When it came out, I was kind of paying attention to it, but I was also like, I already have an agent. At the time, I had an agent who was negotiating my brand deal. So I was like, why would I involve another layer between me and my agent so somebody else gets a cut, right? To me, I was like, okay, Sephora's going to get a cut, then my agent's going to get a cut, and then I get the rest. And I'm like, I don't think we really need to be doing all that. So I wasn't really into this idea of doing Sephora Squad when I first saw it. Now, fast forward a couple years later, I was like, whoa, okay, Sephora Squad became this place where you had to be an established influencer. It became a status symbol, right? Because people started putting Sephora Squad 2023, Sephora Squad 22, right? So people start sharing what they were that they were a part of it. It became like this elite, almost like university. And they teach you how to become a better influencer. But at this point, the stakes are high, like you're talking about pros like that are working, that have incredible followings, are saying, I'm going to actually work with Sephora Squad because it exposes you to relationships with brands who you may or may not have already met. So this is another added opportunity for Sephora. So we go back to Sephora Storefront. They have the affiliate links. Who's using the affiliate links? Influencers. Okay, so we're going back in time. So they first establish influencers, and they're training them to understand Sephora products. So you have creators being paid to recommend products to their followers. This is also something that, if you think about it, right now, most influencers are operating in like a QVC type format, right? Everything they talk about, here's the link, here's the link, here's the link. That is essentially how QVC used to work, right? You would hire these hosts to come on, host the show, and they would sell the product, and then they would make a percentage. Well, if they were the owner of the company, they would make a percentage. If they were just, working at QVC, they get paid per hour in a certain way. But I'm sure if you actually move a lot of product, you can renegotiate that contract. So, funny story, I actually was asked a few times to be on QVC for a couple brands, and I thought about it, but I was just like, I didn't really feel like it was the right move for me, especially at the time I was living in New York. And so I was like, okay, do I want to travel down? Because it's in Pennsylvania, so you gotta wake up really early, you gotta get down there. I kind of want to go and see what it looks like over there. But I find it so interesting because QVC could have been Amazon. Do you know what I mean? When I think of QVC, they could have been Amazon, because everything Amazon is doing now is what QVC was doing on network television. But I digress. Okay, so we have Sephora Squad. So Sephora Squad has become elite. It is a lot of pressure to make sure that you not only have a following, right? So you can't just have 1 million followers. You have to have followers that are part of a community, your community that specifically believes in you and believes in what you're selling, converting, whatever it is, right? They're interested in whatever it is that you share because they know that you are honest with them. That's the other thing about affiliate links. People who use those more than do brand deals, I actually feel are more trustworthy, because they are the kind of people who are going to call you up and be like, hey girl, I was reading this book and I thought about you and I thought that you might really enjoy this book. And so they'll recommend the book, right? That to me is more trustworthy than saying, okay, this is a brand that has a product and they want to sell this new product that came out on their line. While you might like the line, you may not like the new product that they came out with, but because you love the line, they love you, you end up talking about that product. So there is a sense of authenticity also to affiliate links. They're not as lucrative unless you're moving millions of product, right? Or hundreds of product, but it is a way to build a really nice, solid relationship. So if you are an influencer, if you're interested in being an influencer, it's definitely a great way to build a relationship with your clients. I wouldn't shy away from affiliate links. I know that they have felt weird maybe in the past, but I really feel like a lot of that has lifted. And truthfully, being an influencer is converting people to purchase something, whether that's purchasing your own stuff or purchasing other people's stuff. Okay. So Sephora Accelerate. Sephora Accelerate is something that a few of the founders that I have interviewed have been a part of. Sephora Accelerate is a program for brand founders, for younger brand founders that maybe want to come into the company. And a lot of times they start you off on their .com. What that means is that you can purchase their products on Sephora.com. Typically with the Sephora Accelerate program, you're somewhere in the building stages of the company. You may have already launched a product, but and if you have, you are only, I believe they strictly want you to be Sephora exclusive for a little bit. So you are D2C. What D2C means is direct to consumer. So if you are direct to consumer, that means that you are selling directly on your personal.com. So whatever your company name is .com that you sell your product at, you keep 100% of the profits that come from that. And then, obviously you use that to pay your team or whatever it is that you need to do as a business owner. When you start to get into retail, they now take a percentage, right? They take a percentage, and they also, right, are asking for somewhat of a bulk discount when they purchase too, right? For their purchase order. So, Sephora Accelerate is very exciting because now this is another piece. So we've got Sephora Storefront, which is the affiliate program for the influencers, right? Sephora Squad, which is for the influencers themselves, okay? And then Sephora Accelerate, which is the brands. So this is an ecosystem. This is not just like, hey, we're a retail company and we are at the mercy of what you guys want to do. It is actually driving a force that influences the bottom line of the company. And so I found this incredibly interesting because I feel like we have to think about things as an ecosystem, not just like, what is Sephora doing? Why are they doing it? But like, we have to really think about things as an ecosystem. And this brings me into being a creator, because right now a creator, otherwise known as an influencer, right? It depends on the person. Some people don't like the word influencer. Some people prefer creator. Some people prefer, but essentially you are creating content online. And you are doing it for a purpose. Some people just create because they want to be able to attract attention. Some people create because they want to sell something. Some people create just for entertainment purposes. Some people create to spread news, right, to people. There are different reasons to create, but you have to think about how is it that you're actually able to support yourself and your full ecosystem of who you are. Because there's so much attention grabbing stuff online right now. I was thinking about this, especially when I decided to create my video ebook. I thought about it and I was like, wow, like it's not just about creating something cool and being like, now I dropped this thing and it exists in the world. It's about figuring out a way to actually market that thing. And this is why I was interested in what was going on with Sephora. They've created the affiliate program. They've created a place for influencers to grow, and they've created a brand program for brands to continue to grow with them. So they've created this way of making sure that everything is working in tandem. Everything is working out. And having some brands being specific to Sephora also drives interest directly from the consumer directly into the store. So how can you do that, right? One of the things I've been really thinking about is like, we all have this access as creators, I'm speaking specifically now, to using these different platforms, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Instagram, YouTube. Like there are so many different places that you can actually work on your stuff, and you can put it out there. And each platform is becoming more and more sophisticated, and they require different marketing techniques, right? You can think of each platform. Let's think of you as the Sephora, right? Like you're the Sephora, you're the retailer, okay? And then, so you have the products that you want to sell, you have the creative thing that you want to sell, right? And then let's think about like the influencers. So our influencers, our creators would be the Instagrams, the YouTubes, right? Because each influencer, while effective at creating community, what they do is individually they have a different way that they connect with community. So the way you talk on Instagram is different than the way that you write on Threads, is different than the way that you talk on Facebook, is different than the way that you talk on TikTok, right? They're all completely different platforms. So the way that you connect to your community is really important and very specific. So we're past the days of putting the same piece of content on different platforms. And this is something major because a lot of people don't really realize that anymore. And so they will post the same piece of content other places. And let me just give you an example. Okay, Cardi B did this really cool thing where she obviously dropped an album, which was amazing. But in one of the songs, I'm not going to repeat it, but let me play it for you. Let me play it for you because I did a stitch with a Cardi B song. 32 and you got acne on your face. 30 bitch, go and change your pillowcase. I knew about changing your pillowcases. Okay, so she has this song that she recently decided to release. And in the song, she's talking about one of her haters. And she's like, 32 and you got acne on your face, right? And she's like, you got to change your pillowcase. And I was like, okay, actually, I was with my acne specialist the other day. And she told me not only to change your pillowcase, but to stop using fabric softener, and dryer sheets. That's actually what's been breaking you out. And it's made such a major difference in my life that I was like, I have to tell the girls about this. And I was like, what's the best way for me to tell it? Let me tell you something. That video did around 32,000 views on Instagram, which is pretty good for me on Instagram. On TikTok, it did 670,000 views, which is like essentially, it's wild. It's the same video and a completely different impact. So what I basically want you to understand is that we have to treat these platforms differently. They are different, and you have the ability to be able to expand and create community in different ways, in different places. And there's going to be certain places where it's going to be easier for you, whether that's Threads because you're an incredible writer, whether that's YouTube because like you're a great storyteller, whether that's Instagram, right, because you're really good at creating like awesome aesthetics And people are like, "Ooh, man, she looks really like a vibe," you know? There's different platforms for different things. And these are just what I've noticed that is the general consensus. That being said, there are outliers. You'll have to find out where your community draws to you, what they're interested in different platforms. And that, my friend, is marketing. Marketing is something I've been very interested in. And this is something that Sephora is very good at because you don't ever see any Sephora ads really, right? Like it's always the brands talking about get this at Sephora. So it's not like they're marketing Sephora everywhere, but we're always talking about Sephora because they are the place to get the things that we need. So you are the Sephora. I want to create some parallels here, okay? So you are Sephora. And you have let's break this down. You are Sephora. There's this thing called the Sephora Storefront, which is the affiliate program, right? The affiliate program, the app, it's like the way that you can essentially, as a creator, make money. So you are Sephora as the creator. And the Sephora Storefront, the affiliate platform, is the way that you entice people to actually talk about you. So these are members of your community that get excited, that are like, oh my gosh, have you seen this new thing that Delina has created? Let me share it with you. Those people are your Sephora Storefront people. Those are your people who are like, you know, they are members of your community that are loud about what you're doing, and they talk about what you're doing because they think that what you do is creating value. And similar to an affiliate program, most of those people don't get huge rewards from doing that, right? Like the affiliate link that you, let's say you sell a product that's like $20 and you make like 10% off of that. That's like $1 and some change, you know, it's like almost $2. Like by the time they take a little off the top, it's like you're not even really making money from it. So it's not, they don't do it because it's lucrative. They do it because they love the thing and they want to share you with everybody. Sephora Storefront, those are your most loyal community members, okay? Sephora Squad, these are, you can think about Sephora Squad as being your platforms that you use. So like this is your Instagram, this is your YouTube, this is your TikTok, this is your Threads. These are these different places that you go to showcase exactly what it is that you have going on. This is essentially your marketing machine. And how you utilize this marketing machine is very interesting because it can change depending on the platform. So you might be like very witty and very like, and very, funny on Threads. But on Instagram, you might be a little bit more serious, right? Like you might be maybe a little bit more of a teacher, right? So you want a through line. So when people follow you on one platform and they follow you on the other, they still feel like they're getting the same person. But it's a great way for you to find people that are interested in what you're saying, that might be interested in what, video content you're now creating because they like how you write, So there's a great way of being able to cross-pollinate that. Okay, so Sephora Squad, this is for creators to have paid partnerships, brand deals with the brands that are already in the store. Okay, so we have Sephora, which is you. We have Sephora Storefront, the affiliate platform for creators. Those are your most loyal advocates. Those are your brand advocates. Those are your community members that are very loud about you. You have Sephora Squad, which is the explanation that I have for Sephora Squad is that it is your platforms. So your Instagrams, your YouTubes, right? Then you have Sephora Accelerate. And this is where the brands come to get an understanding, a deeper dive into who you actually are. So community is important because people say, okay, there's community and then there's followers. Followers are people who just hit the follow button. Community are people who actually have a vested interest in your success. They want to make sure that what you are doing does well because they find value in what it is that you're creating. Sephora Accelerate. Okay, so there's very few brands that kind of come together and like can actually get to become a part of the Sephora Accelerate. And this is true in most worlds, right? You might have hundreds of millions of followers, but out of those hundreds of millions of followers, you'll only have probably a few thousand, well, not hundreds of millions, I'm thinking about like hundreds of thousands, but let's do hundreds of hundreds of millions of people that follow you. So you probably would only have a few million that actually want to be a part of the community, right? You can think about this when you think about celebrities, and they have like Nicki Minaj has the Barbs, right? Beyonce has the Beehive. I just saw recently that Tyla has the Tigers. I didn't know that. That's new. That was new to me. I didn't know about that. But every person has their community. They have almost like a name, a nickname. You know, Gaga has the Monsters, Little Monsters, right? So who are your monsters? Who are your Barbs? Who are your Beehive? Who are the people that rock with you and that are interested and that feel that they get value from you? Until you get to that place, until you get to the place of having that type of strong community. And it doesn't have to be a lot of people. It could be 10 people. It could be 50 people. It could be 100 people. It could be very small. But when I tell you, once you find those people that rock with you and find out that what you're doing is super valuable and they're interested and they're invested in it, you have momentum. Because now it's not just you talking about the value of the thing that you're doing. It's the people that are around you that are championing what you're doing because the value that it brings to them is so incredible. And so I wanted to make this correlation, and I hope that it resonates with you in the way that I've just deeply wanted it to, because you are so valuable. And, you know, that's the message, the through line, through It Takes a Village. That is what I care about. It is the message. It is the understanding of who you actually are, right? Understanding who you are and the value that you bring to the world is so important. It's important because people can feel it. They can feel that vibration. They can feel what you're putting out. And the more that you understand the value of who you are, the more you are able to attract people who understand who you are, right? And so I hope you see value in this recent video ebook that I created, because it really stresses the importance of understanding the value of who you are before you actually connect and create relationships with other people. So with that being said, this is my Sephora hot take. I hope you really loved and enjoyed it. I'm also taking on a few people who are interested in learning more about how to create a brand that has value. And a lot of times when you're trying to create something really special and you want people to understand the value, you have to be able to have these really beautiful, powerful one-on-one conversations. And this is something that I'm very excited to be able to help guide you and walk you through. And so if I have the honor, if you would give me the honor, I would love to coach you, work with you. I'm taking on a few people this quarter, moving into the next year. And I would love to hear from you. You can reach out. I'll leave contact information down below, but reach out via email, management@delinamedhin.com, and we will talk to you there and see if we can make something happen. Oh, you can also look. I have a link in my bio too, where you can find a time. But if you don't find a time, reach out to me also via email. Okay. All right. With that being said, I hope you have a beautiful day. Leave us a review if you have the time. It means the world. And talk to you later. Bye. See you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening and for being a part of my village. Please leave us a review, and I will see you in the next episode.